$50 from PT. Had to donate during the game that kicked off the gamer that exists today. You got this, Supersonic.
はい、戻りまして、司会進行は引き続きエコーが担当いたします。続きましてのゲームは、狼絶景版、狼 HD ですね。カテゴリーは、ニューゲームプラス 2% で、奏者はサウンダーズテックさん。機種は、PS3 となっております。こちらのタイトルも現在解説の方がいらっしゃいませんので、コメント欄なり飛びなりで何らかの形でご参加いただけますと幸いです。奏者のサンダーズテックさんは、このカテゴリーで世界に、記録が1時間5分41秒ということで、今回予定時間がね、1時間10分なんで、攻めてるのかなという、だいぶ攻めた時間申告なのかなという感じです。でこの奏者の方は基本狼専門で走られている方ですね。はい、コメント欄でも貼られていますが、今回のサマーゲームズドーンクイック2025ですね。こちらは、米国ミネソタ州の、ミネアポリス、ヒルトンミネアポリスで開催されております。チャリティーイベントということで、国境なき医師団への寄付が行われておりまして、プライズなんかもあるんですけど、用意してるみたいなんですけど、ちょっと日本からだとプライズは発送されてないみたいなんですが、書いております通り、ファンゲーマーや EA グッズを購入することで、寄付を行うことができます。イエティもね、ちょっと見ますとね、結構いい図柄の T シャツとかね、ちょっとしたピンバッジとかのね、グッズも売ってますんで。覗いてみると面白いかもしれませんね。私が見た中ですとね、バラと椿の T シャツとね、あとなんだっけな、スタデューバレーの、サントラなんですけど、テープなんですよね。テープのサントラがね、カセットテープのサントラが、$15で売ってますんで、ちょっと見てみてください。
Overjoyed and overwhelmed to be working with and have the chance to introduce to you Ruby Hart and Bob A. Everyone, please give them a warm welcome to the GDQ Prize team.
遊戯王も結構いい。良かったですね。
And I know I've told you this a million times, and now I'm going to get to tell you on camera and embarrass you because I get to do that. I cannot do this job without you.
あと個人的にいいなと思ったのはね、ドンキーとディディのカラフルな T シャツですね。これめちゃくちゃいいですね。
There are so many amazing artists that contribute. Being able to show them off is a pleasure.
Oh, you would know a thing or two about it. We're gonna put up in that one.
Don't do that.
We're going to put in that one, Ruby, and come right back to that. And Bobby, I've been trying to get you on camera more for years, and we finally roped you into this.
For some reason, but it's been a long time.
You knew what this job was, and still,
And I'm just still very super excited to be a part of this team. I mean, like, look at this new set that we have going on here.
Plinkett has absolutely hooked us up. The prize tower has been realized, and it is amazing. It's no longer a prize dungeon. We have a full-on
プライズ紹介してますが、
tower. Thank you, Plinkett, for the set.
Prize tower
Thank you, K Duffels, for giving us the tower on the event shirt. If you haven't gotten your shirt from the Yeti yet, remember to go check that out.
ムジュラの仮面の絵とかありますね。いいですね。
So, here is the short version.
あれもプライズなのか。
あと
マリオ64のピーチのステンドグラスとかね。
get you into in our day prizes that go through the end
いいですね。
of Mega Man X4 in the wee hours of Monday morning, and $250 either in a single donation or all added up get you in for everything this week, including the grand prizes. Let's get into them. We have a lot of things here to show you. Some of the things we don't have here, and I want to highlight one of those. Midi Midna has sent us in some Okami bust enamel pins. I got two lights on both cameras, and I'm having trouble. So chat's going to be picking on me now. I'm already doing my send thing. I'm looking off wherever. $5 donation gets you in to win this set of Okami enamel pins. Thank you, Midi Midna, for sending that in to us. GDQ.gg/prizes to see everything that we have available both in the current block and throughout the rest of the week. We also have some things here in the space to show you off, and I'm going to go over to Ruby to certainly see those.
So I'm a huge fan of shadow boxes, especially when they're really well crafted. We have an Okami paper art piece by Ko Clara. So this is a $10 minimum donation, but it's made with 10 layers of paper as well as watercolor to emulate the style of the hand brush inside the video
今
game.
紹介しているプライ
Gorgeous
ズは
game if you haven't played it, and this
ミニマム
emulates
10
that
ドル
style
から
so
の
perfectly with Amaterasu and Isun.
で
So $10 minimum donation.
もらえる当たる可能性があると。
Bobby, what do you got
味
for
が
us?
っていいですね、これね。
to break up the whole
10ドルじゃ買えませんよ、これ。
Really just wanted to put this little guy in the frame. It's a little Pokemon mini-weighted Trubbish plushie.
By Pincushion Cat plushies. It's incredibly small, as you can see in my big paw. It's very weighty, and also we have little glow-in-the-dark little trash gem bits here. So, like everyone says, that old saying, one person's Trubbish could very well be your prize if you go to gdq.gg/donate. And also with our gdq.gg/prizes, you can look at
Many
ポ
other
ケモン
little
ポケモンのキャラ
Pokemon like this.
That's a hefty little
こ
guy.
れもミニマム10ドルからで
What is in
He's
当
there?
たるや
really
つみ
weighted.
たいですね。
Yeah.
It is like
ヤブクロン
surprisingly。heavy.
ああ、
Did
ヤ
you
ブ
ever
クロン
need。an emotional support Trubbish shout?
You would be entirely unsurprised to know how much that happens with some of the prizes throughout the year. I'm not going to
That's
get
me and the blankets. That's me and the
Right?
quilts and the
Oh,
plushies all the time.
We have so many cool things throughout the week. But also available right now for a $10 donation from Puppy Shaker, we have an Okami bundle. So we have an acrylic Okami standee here.
これなんだクスタなのか
Two-sided, absolutely
あ
gorgeous.
あ、裏面もちゃんと図柄がある。
A little
Okami bundle.
wooden pin
あ、
that
クス
I'm
タ
gonna
か
try. Hey, I got that
これな
right
んだ
way up the
バンドルってこと
first
は
time, everybody. Let's get this going.
ピンバッジもつくのか
We have a Okami. This is actually sort of a static
これス
adhering,
テッカー
and
か
then
な
we have a
ああ、い
vinyl
いです
sticker sheet
ね。
here as well. All of this is a single pack.
これとこれとあれとそれがついて、10
10
ドルからまあ当たる可能性があると。ああ、な
And
る
then,
ほ
of
ど。
course, we have to
いいです
highlight some of the
ね。
hand knit prizes. We have some of the Pokeballs on set, things like that. But this one, as soon as I saw it, I had a little giddy. It's just, it's so cute. It escaped my body. You know that visceral, it's so adorable, I'm gonna die noise that comes out? So this is made by Lancetti 7. It's a
こういう
Pikachu
プライズがあると
full
ね、
ice bag. So it has
寄付する気になりますよね、
straps
やっぱりね。
on the back, and it has a little cinch
これは
in
ピカチュウの
the other side.
ウールダイスバッグ。
You've got the little
お
Pikachu
ー、編みぐるみが入っている。
It's a little removable cat.
これもミニマム10ドル
Cat
から。
comes off.
Oh, I didn't
So you
notice
can
that.
take it on and off, and you
帽子か
can
ぶ
put
って
the
るけど、この
Pikachu
帽子取れん
inside
の？
and outside the bag, but it's so
ああ、いい
beautifully
ですね。
crafted, and it fits in your hand so nicely. So the bag and the Pikachu is a $10 minimum donation. Make sure to get those in. It's so freaking cute. I'm
$10
gonna
ミニ
die.
マムドネーション。
Let's go from.
Did I get ya? Did I get
You
ya?
got me. You got me.
I got you.
But let's veer back on to Okami before we get into the day prizes for today.
Yes.
I want to show this off because as a fan of the fighting game community,
Oh.
I love pressing
ア
buttons.
ケコン
I
です
love
か？
playing Amaterasu in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
アマテラスのア
And
ケコン。
you can very well have the chance to have this Okami arcade stick. We have what's outfitted with authentic arcade parts, very fluorescent acrylic casing, a PCB that would
こ
allow
れ
you to
は
work on
ミ
PC.
ニマム25ドル
And just the buttons are
の
just
寄付
so
から。
creamy. The micro switches, like the at-home arcade experience could very well be yours
い
at a minimum
や
of $25
ー、こういうのっ
donation.
て
Thank you very much,
一点物ですから
for
ね、ほ
sending
とんど。
this into us. And again,
これ当たったら
all
嬉しい
the
か
way
もしれない
out
です
to the
ね。
checkpoint, can you be eligible to win this prize?
I
これは
also
いいで
just
す
need
ね。
to comment, Astro Witch's pixel art, start to finish. Like I got to meet her earlier this year, and every single piece she makes is so freaking stunning. So make sure to look not only here,
いや、
but
よ
at
く
the
見る
other
とね、
prizes this
こ
week,
れ、
and at the Artist Alley, where I know Astro Witch has a booth.
Exactly. If you're here on Sunday,
割とね、
stop
こ
by
の
and check
ゲーム
them
と
out.
ゲームの間なんでね。
For having a
Yes.
thing at GDQ.
No,
It's
it's
been a
awesome
long
to
time
have that.
coming.
So $25 gets you in to
結構
win.
流し見しがちなんですけど、
All of the prizes available in
よ
the
く見ると
blog.
これ、
Day
見応えがあ
prizes,
るん
we've
で
got
すよ
four of them
ね、
here
こ
to show you,
の
and I want to let you see
プ
these
ライ
because
ズ。
normally they've been
ど
running
れ
a
も
full
よくで
day.
きてるんで
These
ね。
are only sort of half day because the first day is only half. So I'm going to start
まあ
off.
欲しいと思っても買えないんですけど
We
ね
have。the Banjo-Kazooie Can I Watch You Play
売り
3D
物じゃないん
Perler
だよね。
Shadow Box. So this is a 3D Perler construction.
これは
There are some
あ
lights on here
次
that
の
I'm gonna
次のゲームですね。
specify.
狼の次のゲームのバンジョ
To get working.
カズ
There
イ
we go.
の
There we go. So we've got the illumination here.
これ
I'm
なん
going to
だ
make sure that I'm not getting all of our stage lights reflected in it. The person who
これは
created this
ビー
mentioned
ズ
that
ア
it
ー
was
ト
inspired
なのか
by
な
watching
ビー
their
ズアートっていう
sibling
のかな
play video
わ
games
かんないです
growing
けど
up. And that just is so imminently and immediately
多分
relatable.
ビーズ
If
で
there
すね。
isn't a more iconic and amazing nostalgia game than Banjo-Kazooie 64, I don't know what is.
No, it's amazing. Thank you, Crazy Kidding, for sending this into us. $50 donation gets you in.
これあれですかね、よく見るとこ
Another
の、
prize that we have
あ
for
あ、そんなことない
$50
か。
donation.
なんか
Ruby,
額
I'm
縁の部
gonna
分
hand
に
this one
なん
over
か
your way. We have from the
ライトで
chain
もついてる
the
のかなと思ったんですけど、
Okami Astral
そんなことはなか
Pouch
った。
chainmail inlay.
今のは$50、ミニマム$50の寄付ですね。ああ、これもそうか。
woven chainmail rings.
Chainmail
does
inlay.
amazing work on these. The chain nerd stuff is always top notch. $50 donation gets you in to win this one. Thank you so much, Chain Nerd, for sending that one into us. I'm going to have to spread this one out to show because there's kind of a lot. We have this set of Okami. Oh gosh, I can't even pick them up. Why can't I hold all these perlers? The Brush Gods
Pass 'em down.
Constellation Perler set.
Pass 'em down.
Thankfully, helpfully marked
ま
so
あ、イ
that we
ン
know
デー
which
は
way
そ
is
の
up,
まま
and we're
で
going to
は
try
め
and
込み
find
細
that.
工で
But
すか
I'm
ね。
just going to let the creator of this prize, the incredible Ruby Hart,
今
tell
の
us
も
a
まあ
little bit
ミニマ
about
ム
them.
$50 で
You
す
have to
ね。
take more. I can't hold all
鎖
these.
と扉アート、
I'm
まあ、
doing
飾り
my
ですね
best. So, hi,
Okay,
hi
take one more.
everyone. So I made this prize set. It is 14 constellations that
なん
are
かいっ
all
ぱいある
based
な。
on the Brush Gods from Okami. I loved this game growing up, and a few members of my community, for their 10-year anniversary, we made a run of these as their present. So if you want to get your own set, it's, like I said, all 12 of the constellations, including the set of the trio monkeys, and all of the outlining and the stars glow in the dark. So if you wanted to mount them as pieces that are available for the day or night, either one works great.
これも狼。
Thank you so much,
狼
Ruby.
のキャラ
These
の
are so cool. And like,
There's so
I-
many, we
I'm
can't
sorry, I
hold them
cannot
all.
hold all of them,
I'm
but they are amazing.
I'm gonna. There's a boar
Brush Gods
and there's a sheep
Constellation
and a bunny
Paraset
and
って書いてあ
a
りますね。
lion and a rat.
You can
and,
catch photos of all of these available again
Phoenix.
on the website
あーこれも
gdq.cc/prizes.
$50ミニマムで当たる可能性があると。
And a boar. Did I get them all? And,
めっちゃいっぱいあるな。
there we go.
All right. Last thing I want to show you, our last day prize here. This one is a $100 donation from Crokinole Chaos. We have the GDQ Crokinole board.
Oh,
If you have
何ですか？
been here at the
Bumper ですか？
event, you know the board game room is always hopping. You know that the Crokinole table is always busy. This is incredible. Massive Crokinole board, GDQ logo inlaid into it. If we turn it
何これ？
around here, it is
これ何？
dated and named, and there is storage for all of your Crokinole pucks. We have 4 sets here of 13 each, different colors, singles or doubles. This is absolutely incredible, and it could be yours. $100 donation to Doctors Without Borders get you in to win this. With that $100 donation, you are getting closer to being eligible for our grand prizes as well. We have 2 of them in this event, the Heroic Replicas Royal Bundle and Pukumuku hanging out down here. We'll be showing off a little bit more later. But I don't want to hold us up anymore. I'm going to let you all get back to the runs. We do have Okami coming up. We will be back throughout the week to show you more of the amazing things that you can win.
なんかね、一瞬出たんですけど、ミニマム$100の寄付で、多分クロックボードって書いてあったんだけど、ちょっと一瞬すぎてちょっと分かんなかったな。
Ruby, Bobby, I'm looking forward to working with you all this week. T-Tree, I will go ahead and send it back to you as we get ready for the run. Y'all take care. We'll see you again real soon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Game & Shout, and congratulations again to our newest prize team members, Ruby, Hart, and Bobby. Fantastic. I look forward to seeing what y'all come up with, show off the amazing prizes throughout the week. But yeah, there's so much momentum here in the room. It's absolutely amazing what you all at home and you in the room are doing to help us. I mentioned the console choice for Banjo-Kazooie recently. I want to extol the virtues of the Xbox 360 version, and that has helped a little bit. It's closed some distance on the Nintendo 64 version, but if you want to see the runner have to contend with a version of Banjo-Kazooie that runs at a stable frame rate at all times, and how that changes the routing, the tricks, the glitches, then get over
今これ画面にね、今紹介されたプライズが出てます。
On the browser, if you are on a laptop or a desktop, get your donations in and apply to the console choice bid war. No, also,
個人的にはバンドルが欲しいですね。
going towards our milestone for the Vivify Noodle extension to Beat Saber. Have you seen the Mario Kaizo and Showcase runs over the years here at GDQ?
あれが10ド
This
ル
is
の
going to be like that, but for Beat
最
Saber.
低10ドル
There's
の
going to
ね
be hints
寄付
of
で
something like
当たる可
a
能性が、
Expedition
我々
30
にはないです。
in Beat Saber that was added
我々にはない
this
です。
last week. I cannot extol the virtues of just how amazing the Beat Saber community has been to add custom assets to the game to fundamentally change what the Beat Saber
このバン
experience
ド
is
ル
like.
いいです
So if you want to see that as part of Kung Fu Fruit Cup
めちゃくちゃ良くない
run
ですか、これ。
later today, help us get to $100,000 before that. Any donation will help us get there because that is a milestone and we'll be on our way. All right. I've gotten word that we are ready for our next
あー、で
run
も紹介されてないやつ
of
も
HD with
ありま
Saunders
す
Tech.
ね。
So let's go. Woo!
紹介されてないプライズもあります。さて、画面が来ましたかね。はい、
Thank you very
狼
much.
です。
Thank you. Welcome everyone. I'm Saunders Tech, and this right here is Okami HD. And I'm joined by a very special guest behind me. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Orai.
記者、はい、
I'm a longtime
PS3
runner and
です
glitch
ね。
hunter of Okami.
カテゴリーが
I'm a
NG プ
former
ラ
world
ス
record holder of New Game
2%。
80% and all brushes, but this is
New Game
Saunders
Plus
show,
です
so
ね。
please take it away.
はい。
All right, thank you. Well, I'm ready to begin. So
後
let's
ろ
get started.
に、
In
そうですね、着ぐるみ、白い着ぐるみを着てる人がいます。
Go!
はい、始まります。グッドラックです。はい。
So starting off the speed run, the game is going to present me with 14 minutes worth of cutscenes. Now, this might not
まあ、
surprise
犬
you.
のよう
but
に
I'll
見える
be
何かがあ
speaking
り
all
ま
of
す
them.
ね。
They explain the plot of this game, so
まあ
just
ま
to
あ、
fill
おそら
you
く
in
犬
with the basics, I'm playing as a sun goddess wolf called Amaterasu. She's been resurrected after 100 years because this evil eight-headed serpent, Orochi, he's cursed the land of Nippon, which is ancient Japan, which we're playing in. So we need to lift the curse and defeat that eight-headed serpent. Now, throughout the speedrun, you're going to notice there are a lot of cutscenes, and these cutscenes are meant to slow you down. So Amaterasu builds her speed up over time, and you will notice that the second the cutscenes end, it seems like I'm not being slowed down at all. So that is a trick called speed preservation. So how it works is I'm going to jump into the cutscene to preserve my speed, and then when I jump out like this, you can see I'm immediately max speed. That means I can go from point A to point B a lot faster. So now I'm going to complete this constellation. So Amaterasu's tail is a brush, and her brush can be used to manipulate the real-world environment. So you're going to see an example right here. I just used the brush to complete this river. If I didn't use the brush, the river's broken. I wouldn't be able to pass. With the power of the brush, I'm able to restore it just like this. In total, there are 13 brush powers. You can draw like an infinity sign to summon a fireball. You can draw 2 straight lines to, slow down time. Conveniently, you won't see those brush powers in this speed run. There's a total of 13 brush powers. I will only be collecting 7. Now, the next trick you're going to see here is called the bunny hop. So why on earth is Sun Goddess Amaterasu bunny hopping? Well, you can see this flat ground here. Amaterasu moves fast on the flat ground. However, she will slow down when I go up slope. So if I start bunny hopping while I'm on a flat slope, and then I bunny up on the uphill slope, I preserve my speed from that flat slope, so Amaterasu doesn't slow down when I go up the hill. So now I'm in the Cave of Nagi. That statue is that dude, and he was the dude who defeated the Orochi boss 100 years ago. And by restoring his sword, I have the next brush power, which is Power Slash. So how it works is you draw a straight line, and it cuts stuff up just like that. That's crazy. And now I'm going to skip a fight. Here we go, and I just skipped the first fight of Okami HD. This is crazy. But you know what's even crazier is what's coming up next. So I'm going to do the second fight skip. Watch very closely. So here it is. It's coming up any moment now.
PS3 の、
one.
狼
And
な
there
ん
we
で
go. I just skipped
2006
the
年って
second
書いてあるん
fight
ですけど、
just like that.
2000
Now, if
絶
you're
景
watching
版
this run,
は
you're wondering, what on earth did I actually just do? Because it kind of looked like I
2006
did
年じゃな
nothing.
いよな。
Well, you see that gate to the left, that red gate? If you go under the gate, the fight begins. But what I did is by going to the left of the gate, the fight doesn't start. That was an oversight. And you will notice throughout this speed run, I'm going to be doing a bunch of fight skips. Honestly, you could just load up Okami right now and do yourself. They're nothing too crazy. So now I have my 2 brush powers from the tutorial section of the game. And so now I can actually get the party started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Power Slash this bud. And this bud houses the entire of Kamiki Village. And so now Kamiki
ちなみ
Village
に
is restored,
狼絶
but
景
there's a
版
problem.
ですが、
The
狼
problem
HD で
is
す
that
ね。
all of the people in
絶景
Kamiki
版で
Village
す
are
が、
stone statues. The sky is,
まあ
you know,
今
at night
PC
time,
版
and
の
it
話に
won't
なり
go
ますけ
day
ど、
until I draw the
Steam の
sun
ね、
and do this long side quest.
セ
However,
ー
it
ル
turns out I'm going to do a different
今
side
開
quest
催
on
中
my
の
own,
サマ
which
ー
is
セー
called
ルでで
Sequence
すね、
Breaking the Game by quite a bit. So I'll let Oran explain
50% オフ
the
の
glitch I'm about to do right here.
So as we approach the
1523円
boulder
で
blocking our exits to Kamiki, you're going to see Saunders pause the game and then use a Karmic
販売されており
Transformer
ま
item.
す。
These are cosmetic items exclusive to New Game Plus, and they change Amaterasu's appearance. But there's a glitch. The first frame after you unpause, if you input a tackle, instead of getting an aerial tackle, you will get a ground tackle, which allows you to jump in midair, and you can chain these together to jump infinitely anywhere you want.
Yeah, so the premise of this speed
結
run
構これ見
is,
たまん
you
ま
know,
の世界
that,
観
that KT
なん
glitch, we're
で、
changing our costumes in the air.
本当にこういう
So
の好き
Sun
な
Goddess
方は
Amaterasu will be shape-shifting, jumping around, and we're going to
やっ
just
てみたら
completely
いいん
sequence
じゃない
break
ですか
everything.
ね。ああ、なんか
But
悪いこと
first,
しそう
we're going to
な
have to
動き
do
をしてます
one
ね。
more tutorial
なんでこんな
section.
隅っこの
So
方を
this is
動
a
いてるんでしょう
tutorial dungeon,
ね。不思議ですね
and。it's called Hana Valley. And so you're going to see in Hana Valley there's a problem, which is that the water is all muddy. And so my objective is to remove the mud, and then once I've done that, I can continue on. But first, I have some incredible news, which is that we're actually going to finally see a fight in this game. Here we go, the first fight in Okami HD. This is incredible, wow. All right, so in this fight, I'm going to start by equipping a bunch of items, and then everyone's going to die.
そうですね、コメント欄でもおっしゃってる方いらっしゃいますけど、まあ、サマーセールで安く買えるっていうのもあるんですが、ゲームズドンクイックのツイッチチャンネルなり、ウェブサイトなり行きますと、ハンブルですね、ハンブルバンドルで結構売ってるのもありまして、これは多分今回走られるものが9本ぐらいまとまって売られてたりもします。
So here is the second fight. If you're playing the casual playthrough, this fight is really hard. But with the
基本的にはまあそうですね。
everyone dies
まあ Steam で売ってるものは Steam で
Thank you. But
探していただ
so
いて、
how that works is when you use the slip,
まあ買う
it's
のが
effectively a spell,
丸いか
and
な
that
という
spell just
感
does
じです。
extreme damage and it destroys everyone.
はい、今回はニューゲームプラスです。
Coming up here, we have the one thing you might think that we've skipped is the sunrise brush technique. But you can see Saunders just drew a circle, and the game is like, that's fine, circles are great. So normally, we are the sun goddess. We have the intrinsic ability of sunrise, but you're supposed to go through a little experience in the game where you discover that ability, and it lets you change the night to day. But as it turns out, pretty much any cutscene where you're expected to use sunrise, all the game is looking for is a circle.
そんなに
So all we need is
時間
circles.
の振れ幅っていうの
Here's
は
a
ないのか
beautiful
な。
panorama.
わか
There's
ん
this
ないで
little
すけど。
bud on the floor. And so what we need to do is we need to grow it into a tree. And then once we've done that, we can continue on. But first, there's this,
まあ
this guy in the
基
cave.
本飛ばせてる戦闘間違えて入っちゃったりとか、あとちょっと遅れるのかもしれないですが。
Thanks. But he needs to cut some pots. So you'll notice I'm actually doing power slash here. So Susano is trying to cut these torches, but he's completely failing. And so me, Saunders Amaterasu, I'm so kind. I'm helping this guy out. So if I can cut the pots, I'm going to be able to help him here. Like there's this old bear. He wants the bear on the floor. Now he's on the floor.
We have this incredible orb here with some great physics. It is very hard to push this smoothly.
第一村人っていうにはスサノオって書いてありますけど、すごいビッグネームじゃないですか。
Ball is actually the final boss of the game. Spoiler alert.
村人な
This
の
is
か。
Yami, the ruler of eternal darkness.
村人でいいのか、スサノオ。
You know, he's a little sleepy right now. He's a little bit tiny, but he's going to come back in a big way at the end of the run. And the brush gods are going to be so impressed by Saunders' incredible act of ball pushing that they're going to grant us a new brush technique.
All right, so here it is. This is called Bloom. And so what you do is you draw this circle, and it blooms the trees. It restores all those flowers, those very beautiful pink flowers. And so now, this is where the fun truly begins. So once I leave Hannah Valley, you know, the sequence breaking, some crazy sequence breaking is all going to take place. But first, here comes another fight skip. Here we go. And I skip the fight just like that. And so how that works is really convenient. There's this big line on the floor, and that tells you
なんか
where
いろい
to
ろ
wall
スキッ
jump
プしたっぽいですね。
to skip that fight. So very kind of the, it's very convenient. But let's see here, another fight skip. Is a fight
洞
skips
窟出る
going crazy. Here we
直前
go.
の
Like
壁
a
のところで
skip,
なんか
another imp fight.
ジャンプ
What
し
a
てうまくいっ
beautiful
たのかな
sight.
何か
And
は。
so those were the imps that we saw earlier.
あでも基
And they
本
want to
画
fight
面の
again.
端っこを
That fight you can actually skip.
ジャンプしていくような。
Let's get some donations real quick until we bloom Shinshu here.
Hey, my pleasure. We've got some villagers showing their gratitude for Amaterasu's work so far, and Saunders as well. DDX Pro with $25, a quick haiku. A white dog? How odd. Here to do some shopping, Pooch? Wait, what's in your mouth? Very excited for the Okami New Game Plus run. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you so much. So as we get into Shinshu here, Saunders has bloomed the Guardian Sapling, the Sakura petals are falling. At this point, the game wants us to do a bunch of things in Shinshu Field, including getting a couple new brush techniques and saving the people of Kamiki, but we don't have any time for that. We are going to be skipping directly from the first arc of the game all the way to the third and final one. On the left there, you can see the Thunderdome. The front entrance is unfortunately closed, but there is a side entrance that Saunders knows about. Here you're going to see Saunders is going to start chaining together KT jumps. One thing we didn't mention earlier is that every single one of these inputs is
なんかやっ
frame
てますね。
perfect. Which means even if you are so
こ
good
の
at
犬
this
空
as
飛んで
just
る
one, you
な
have。to do even more KTs to make up for the lost height. Now that Saunders is out of bounds, we're going to do some wall jumps to break up our KTs, reduce the number of frame perfect inputs needed.
壁の中にいるな。
And you can see there Saunders just did a buffered KT. That's where you pause right after the KT to make sure you got that glitch.
やってますね。
Now we're under the map. You can see if you look way in the distance there is the Thunderdome. If you have a very sharp eye, you can see a glowy white circle. That is our goal. That is the loading zone, which is always there, even though the Thunderdome is locked. It's getting bigger and bigger.
Oh. Yeah, so once you enter this load zone, you skip about 2/3 of the entire game, which is very convenient. However, you can't just go in through the final chapter and then complete the game. Instead, we're actually just going to go into this
これもあ
area
れですかね
and。then
ニューゲームプラスだからこそでき
So
る
one more.
技ですかね。
Right, one more.
One
Let's
more.
just-
This is the hardest sequence of KTs in the entire run.
Come on.
Oh.
ほう、猶予1フレにフ
I
レの
think it's
技を
another good time for some more donations as we run
成
through
功
the
させて
distributed
いく。
street.
結構な回数やってましたよ。
Kiva sends in
すごい
$10
です
to
ね。
Doctors Without Borders. Hey, Saunders, good luck on the run. Hope the sun shines brightly on this run so we can see some god-tier gaming. Time to bork all the way to the celestial plane. $50 to Doctors Without Borders from North Star. Must donate during the speed run of one of my favorite games of all time. Can't wait to see how broken it can get to be completed within 1 hour. Go SGDQ, less than 3.
Thank you. So as we go on here, you're going to see we're in Kamui. There's a bunch of things the game wants us to do at this point, including fighting a really cool dog named Oki, and also to heal the Guardian Sapling, which is, unfortunately, it's trapped in a mountain. Now, normally, we would blow up the mountain to free the Guardian Sapling and expose it to the bright sunlight, but instead, you know, we're going to go under the mountain and bring the sunlight directly to the tree. So you can see Saunders is KTing out of bounds here. That's just so that we can bring the camera closer to the tree. And just by changing the camera right nice, and there you go. The tree is thrilled to be alive.
So now Kamui is bloomed. What on earth am I actually doing if I'm going to leave very soon? Well, it turns out there is one ability that going out of your way to get is going to save an extreme amount of time. And this ability is stored in the dojo's house. So the old man is going to teach me some new tricks. And so let's find out what on earth that is. So here is the beautiful house. And so there we go, I'm in the house. And the trick in question is double jump. So picture this, right? Every single time I do the KT glitch, even though I have infinite jumps, there's a problem, which is the KT glitch is extremely slow to do. It takes about 2 seconds, to go into the fan, swap the karmic transformer. But when I have double jump, I can halve the total number of jumps in order to, get from point A to point B. Well, in this case, in order to completely sequence break the game, that's going to be extremely beneficial for me. So
やっぱり
now,
でも、ニューゲームプラスでも
say goodbye, old man.
引き継がれない
So in order to
Wasabi
leave
みたいなのがあるわ
Kamui,
け
we
ですね。
could go directly back the way we came, but we have a shortcut. As it turns out in this game, all the interior areas are just stored underneath the map, about a kilometer down and near the origin, the
二
center
段
of
ど
them.
ころではないジャンプ
So
をさっきから
that,
知ってま
in
すけ
this
ど、
case, saves a lot of traversal time. You can see Saunders is using the overlay map just to line it up.
一体何段ジャンプしてるんだと。
And let's see if we can...
My button's broken.
Button's broken? Okay.
Oh, there we go.
There you
Oh,
go.
Well, if I get this scream.
Oh my god.
All
It's
right.
a very narrow target.
So if you're watching this, you're confused what happens. So I use the map to tell me where to go, but the map button on my controller stopped working. So with the map, it tells you where to go underneath the map, but because the map button didn't break, because the map button didn't work, I had to guess. And thankfully, I guessed correctly, because if not, that'll be quite devastating.
Yeah, so as you fall that kilometer, you are reaching terminal velocity, which for Amaterasu is about the diving speed of a peregrine falcon. If you miss that, you are not going to get a second chance.
African or European falcon?
Something
No,
going.
wait, wrong reference.
Japanese. So here we are in Agata Forest. We have entered through the wrong way. You can see Saunders is going to line up next to this loading zone and simultaneously start dragging the brush far away from Ami. This is a technique we call the brush adventure. And very conveniently for us, the guardian sapling of this area is just underneath us out of bounds. So as long as we can drag the brush a little bit out of the way, we can get to the guardian sapling. There it is. And simultaneously, Amaterasu is going to hit a loading zone, and it is going to actually skip. Oh.
All right, so I needed to tell Isun that I wanted to leave Agata Forest, but I told Isun I'm going to stay. Now, that's not really too crazy. That's just going to lose 3 or 4 seconds. And so if you bloom the tree and you don't leave, you get spawned next to the tree. And so that's just going to, it's just going to take, a couple of extra seconds to go from this area to my next area. But right now, I need to skip a fight. So there's this dude called Waka. And so I just need to do a KT glitch all the way around there. And then just run across just like this, just so the fight won't begin. And there we go, that's not too bad. So what I'm meant to do right now is enter this dungeon called Suturos. So to the left of me, there's this boy. You can see the boy isn't too happy because his dog trapped in this dungeon. We need to do this fishing mini game. It's really slow. So you see the front door shut. Well, it turns out I'm just going to do the KT glitch just go over the front door and enter just like that.
That brings us to our first dungeon of the run. This is Pseudo Ruins, and immediately you are not going to be seeing very much at Pseudo Ruins. We are going out of bounds, and we're going to KT directly to the mid-boss area of this dungeon. That area is actually just a series of 3 devil gates, which are just filled with early game enemies. So they're going to be no trouble for Saunders to take out with his New Game Plus items and the Exorcism slips. So let's hear some donations.
You've got it. Griffin Moth with $50 to Doctors Without Borders. Bork! Okami is my favorite game of all time. I have not replayed any other game more. So much comfort and worth whenever I see or think about it. So happy to see Okami at GDQ. The Silver Spud sending in $250 to MSF. Can't wait for this Okami run. Gotta go fast. No, wait, that was the last game. And Wolf Link with $25. So happy to see Twilight Princess at GDQ again. It looks a little different than I remember, though. Satine3249 with $50. Good luck, Saunders. I hope you get your McDonald's Big Mac before you leave.
Thank you so much.
All right, so here we go. This is a cutscene. I have 1 frame to skip. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
This is basically luck. Yes!
Oh, my goodness. So throughout the speedrun, you know, I've skipped many cutscenes, but that one is an unskippable cutscene that takes 15 seconds to pass. And so the game developers, they want you to check it out, but they left an oversight, which is that you have 1 frame to hit the start button and skip that cutscene. It's not skill to be able to skip that cutscene. It really just is pure luck. So, you know, you mash as hard as possible, and then just hope for the best.
So after we've cut those pots, we have removed the source of poison in Pseudo Ruins. The water is clear, and that unlocks the way into the statue. Inside the statue, there is a bunch of cursed grass. And one of the side effects of Bloom, the brush power we obtained in Hana Valley, is that we can actually heal the grass and restore its green hue. So we just have 3 little patches of grass to bloom. And the brush gods are going to be so impressed by our act of godly landscaping that they are going to grant us the very best brush technique in the entire run.
So here it is. Here is Vine. So how it works is you grab onto flowers. Now that on its own isn't really too crazy, but what is crazy is the glitch you can do with it. So this isn't going to be an incredible example, but if you do a Katie glitch out of a vine, you get super speed. So you can't really see it too well there, but you will see it shortly afterwards. And also, so a fun fact, I actually told Isun to stay in Pseudo Ruins, but Isun kicked me out anyway. And because of the super speed, I get pushed behind the load zone, and so when I say I want to stay, he's pushing me forwards, and he kicks me out. So here is a better example. So we see this vine right here. I'm going to KT onto the vine. So I'm going super fast. That's really great, but there's a problem. So this bridge, you can't actually jump over this bridge. And so you're gonna need to do a Katie glitch over the bridge. So this right here, when you're over water, you can't actually do the Katie glitch in the air. So instead what you have to do is just get right next to the water. There we go. And then you jump out of the water, there we go. And by jumping over that bridge, it looks like a small thing. What I've just done is I skipped completing the Pseudo Ruins dungeon, and I skipped rebuilding the bridge, which is this very boring minigame. Thankfully, we won't see it.
That brings us to our next major hub area, Taka Pass. If you've played this game before, you might know that the Guardian Sapling is directly above us and to the right. And you might question, well, if we have the Karmic Transformer glitch, why don't we just KT up there and bloom it right now? Well, the answer is that there's a guy, a very special guy named Waka, and he has not granted us his permission to bloom the Guardian Sapling. We need to go over there, talk to him, have a friendly negotiation, let's call it.
All right, so as I'm entering this cave here, I'll just show you something maybe interesting, maybe not so interesting. So we bunny hop to save time. And the problem with bunny hopping is we can't use the bark button, so you typically bark to the music. But if you wall jump here, you can lose all that time. And so I'm just going to start barking. There we go, beautiful. What's even more beautiful, though, is Waka. Here we go, here's Waka.
Waka warning. There he is. And there he goes. Nice. So Waka, very vulnerable to our incredible damage output. He has agreed after that friendly negotiation to allow us to bloom the Guardian Sapling. We're going to be taking a bit of the wrong way around both directions here. We can't blow up this rock to get in this way, which is why we have to KT up, but we can still jump right back through. And then in order to bloom the Guardian Sapling, the game will actually not let us unless we have enough height. So we just KT up and bloom.
So once I've bloomed the Tarka Pass, I'm actually going to play the game in chronological order. This is quite a rare occurrence.
What? I don't follow. Could you explain how that works? Playing the game in order? I don't. Never mind.
I've never heard of those words. I don't know. Maybe, I'm not too sure. But what I am very sure about is this. So I have to travel an extremely far distance, and so with the big aid of the Vine. Oh, let's try that again. So with the aid of the Vine KT glitch, and another glitch I'm going to do, or I wouldn't say it's a glitch, but a trick, I'm going to save a lot of time. So here we go. I have super speed, but when I go up this hill, I'm going to get stuck. So with a trick called the wiggle wiggle, let's see if I can do it. I should just wiggle to left and right. Oh, kind of all right. And there we go. Completely unstucks me, and so I can just go super fast from Tarka Pass.
めっちゃ加速してるように見えますけど。
Kusa Village.
You really have to mash that jump button to get that, so that is very impressive. And that brings us to Kusa Village. Kusa is cursed, but not in the same way as all of the other areas we've seen so far. Instead, there is a big windmill up on top that is not blowing. And in the village, there's a curse because there's a shrine maiden, Fise, and she is being afflicted by some casual demonic possession. Now, these are pretty low-level demons, and with our incredible damage output, it will just take a minute for us to dispatch with them and heal the village. So Saunders, let's go.
細かくジャンプして登ってたんですかね。
So it turns out leaving the princess to fend for herself actually saves a lot of time. And so you see these curse
この村の
icons.
ダンジョン入った
If you
瞬
save
間
the
から大
princess,
技があ
they'll
る
go
の
away.
で、
And these curse
見
icons
どころ
actually
見ど
help
ころ
me
らしいです。
do
お、ここかな？
really nice
こ
trick.
こですかね。
Not coming up right now, but coming up in a couple minutes.
So this here is Gale Shrine. This is our next dungeon, but it's locked. And normally, we would have to obtain 8 parts of a key in order to unlock the door. And that would be a huge side quest.
ここで出てましたけ
Turns out we
ど、
have a secret entrance, and that is our ability to teleport. Saunders here is going to be mashing the jump button as we go in and out. The goal here is to get a frame-perfect input on the very first frame of entering the map. And there's
フレー
no
ム
cue
パー
for
フェク
this.
トって言
It
って
is
ました
just
ね、今ね。
try it until it works. So until we can get that, let's hear a couple more donations.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a few points that I want to draw everyone's attention to first. First is the Glitch Exhibition for Banjo-Kazooie, which is almost there. We're over 18,500 out of the 20,000 we are looking for. We also have a new incentive available to you, which is to get the good ending in Avowed. So Mike Wave will do the extra quests and things necessary to get the good ending in the Avowed speedrun if we can raise $25,000 for that. And let you know the current status of the console choice for Banjo-Kazooie. The Xbox crowd has showed up. We've closed the distance there, but that incentive, that bid war will close as the Okami run ends. So you have less time than you think. Get those donations in. You can use gdq.gg/donate, or you can use the Twitch charity extension right in your browser if you're on a laptop or
これはマ
desktop
ップ
computer.
突き抜けてかなり
Thank you so much. Saunders there, while the donations were going on, has achieved the glitch. What we did there is we jumped on the first frame after entering
なん
the
かエ
map.
レベーターみたいですけど、エレベーターいらないですね、この移動方法してたら。
Other than 000, the center of the map, the origin. And in this dungeon, that happens to be incredibly useful because it's right at the base of that elevator halfway through. And then by running along the ground using a special glitch called Sleepwalk that we'll explain later, that we preserve that state and we're able to jump out of bounds using the KT glitch and void out, respawning us at the origin. Now you can see Saunders is KTing all the way up to the top of the elevator because we don't have the cherry bomb ability that would normally power that elevator. And that is going to take us right to this observation deck here. Kusa, or the Gale Shrine rather, is cursed because the wind has been trapped by the evil Crimson Helm. And our goal is to reverse the Crimson Helm's evil winds with a spiral, and a loop.
Yeah. Incredible. So now the sky is nice and blue. And so I can now get my next brush power, which is called Gale Storm.
まあこのなんかね、
And so there we go. So, all right, do you know what the
見た目
Japanese
変える
term for this brush
アイ
power
テ
is by
ム
any
を
chance?
使ったジャンプみたいですけど、
Let's read it.
猶予がほとんどないらしくてね。
You know when you get the brush power, there's like Kazagami and all that stuff. Do you know which one? The wind?
This would be. Well, you're going through the text really fast. I can't read it.
まあ連続で、
That's fine, no problem.
まあ普通はで
What's
きない
happening
らしい
really
と。
fast right now
この
is
ジャン
I'm just going to leave Gale Shrine. So what was happening in that tutorial area is it was showing there was this gate that was shut. And so when that gate's shut, you know, I used the wind power to open it. But it turns out, instead of going that way, just using the
ボ
Katie
ス
glitch
戦あるん
is
です
a
か
lot
ね。
faster. And I'm
今まで
also
ボ
going
ス
to
戦らしきものを
this
見てない
cutscene.
んです
Very
けど、
smooth.
There we go. So there's
ボ
like
ス
this
戦前のデモみたいなのありましたけどね。
of the Gale Shrine. And I mean, I've seen the Gale Shrine quite a bit, so I'm okay not having that tool.
Normally in English, Isun there would be telling you can't ignore the Crimson Helm forever. And that is very prescient of him because we are going to be seeing Crimson Helm later.
What you see right now is those cursed icons, they actually have one benefit. So earlier in the Gale Shrine, I had to get that perfect one-frame jump in order to, you know, go out of bounds,
パーフェクトワンフレームジャンプって言ってましたね。
do that ultra warp trick.
つ
But
ま
what
り
the
猶予
cursor
がワン
is
フレームしか
showing,
ないと。
your respawn location never updates.
それをこの連続で成功させてるっていうのがすごいとこなんですね。
By avoiding out of bounds, it teleports me to the start of the map, and that saves a lot of time running all the way back.
And that's why we couldn't help but say, I'm sure she'll understand. It was all for a good cause, going as fast as possible. Anyway, now that we're going back into Taka Pass, we are going to be starting to slope hop down this hill here, preserving our bonus speed from the downhill path. And we're just going to be doing a few hops until we get to our real objective, which is this flower. And we're going to go...
We're gonna go. Oh, maybe we'll just.
Okay, maybe we're going to
not
put the
quite do
brakes
that.
on a bit.
But we'll do it very shortly. Here we go. Let's see here.
So that making that sound is mandatory. The glitch doesn't work otherwise. I guess we didn't do it quite right the first time. And that brings us to Sasa Sanctuary. Sasa is a bathhouse operated by a family of sparrows. The patriarch of the sparrow family is Big Daddy Jamba. I did not make that up. That is what he's actually called. And he is very upset because his daughter has gone missing. Now, his daughter has actually been kidnapped by a pair of demons who are preparing to cook her to eat. And, you know, we really should save her, but that would take a little bit of time, so we're just gonna break our way into the top. Now, the Sparrow Bathhouse here is missing its bath. That's another major flaw. So there's this old man here. He happens to be an expert in locating sources of water. And we're gonna escort him several hundred meters underground using the power of digging and slashing.
And so you're not actually meant to have the wind brush power here. And so with the wind brush power, I'll show you in a little bit. The guy needs to go down. But I can just use the wind to just push him around, just like that. And so with the power of the wind brush power, this is actually going to save me. Oh,
That's
gonna save me a lot of time. So there we go. I'm at the bottom, and then I give him a circle. That makes him happy. And then there we go. I can extract the water from the ponds.
Thanks to Mr. Bamboo, the brush gods are once again so impressed by
竹取
our
の大きな手は
incredible
向
knowledge
こ
of
うの方が
hydrogeology
ミスターバンブー
that they
な
are
んで
going
す
to
か。
grant us another brush power. This brush god here is Nuregami,
これさっきプライズで
the
紹
god
介さ
of
れたやつ
being
です
wet, I
ね。
guess. And it grants us the ability Water Spout, which is the ability to draw water from any water source to anything that's thirsty, including the air, which is what low humidity means.
So now there's a problem, which is that I can't remember his exact name.
Big Daddy
but
Jamba.
The guy, oh, okay. But his guards are coming after me, so I need to escape. So it turns out, instead of going through the front entrance, it's actually faster to just break in through the mountains. So I'm not doing this KTs because I have to, I'm doing them because it is nice and fast. But what's coming up right here is this massive red bridge. And so the game expects me to do this really long side quest in order to lower this bridge. And so you'll see a panorama of it right now. Any second. Let's just wait for this beautiful panorama.
Yeah, so this is the city checkpoint. This is sort of a preview into the second of the 3 arcs of this game. You're allowed to come here at any time, but you're not meant to cross.
Well, it turns out, in order to lower the bridge, you have to defeat Orochi, defeat Crimson Helm, and so that's why I won't be lowering the bridge, because I brought my own bridge. So let's test out. Let's see if this one works. So here we go. And there we go. I get catapulted across the bridge, and that saves a whopping 40 minutes. So remember that dude at the beginning, that Orochi guy? We won't be seeing him when we're meant to see him. So we
さて、
skipped
間
him.
もなく予定時間の
This brings us to
1
Yoshima
時間
Coast, yet another hub
10
area that
分
is also cursed.
の
There
大
is
体
a
半分くらい
fight in our way to the
まで
Guardian
来ましたけ
Sapling,
ど、
but very fortunately, we can take a detour into the cursed zone. This shows you the evil nature of
あと
Orochi's
30分
curse.
走るんで
And
すかね。
constantly we are drowning while we're in here, but fortunately, it's just a little
その
detour.
くらいはかかるのか。
Once we land, Saunders is going to use a brush adventure again to clip the camera through the ground. That is going to let us get a good camera angle in order to use water spout all the way from the bottom pond here to the top, skipping multiple water spout uses.
So now we'll see the Guardian Sapling grow. And I just want to say, like, that brush adventure is so incredible, because if you do it the normal way, the camera angles are horrific, and the minigame just sucks. But by using the brush adventure, I could just complete the entire minigame with 1 stroke.
Now that we're in the healed Ryoshima coast, we have a bunch of objectives here in Arc 2. We really only have one goal though, and that is the thunderstorm brush technique that you normally get at the very end of this arc. But in service of that, there are a bunch of different flags that we have to set before the game will allow us to reach that point. First off, we actually need it to be nighttime for something coming up a little later. We could just wait about 6 whole minutes for it to turn night naturally. I'm sure that would give us plenty of time for donations, but there is a faster way. You can see there in the sea off the coast of Ryoshima, we have the sunken ship. This ship has been sunken by the driven mad water dragon who is possessed by demons. And in order to enter it, normally we would have to have the crescent brush technique in order to make it night and split open the sea and enter from the sea floor. But Saunders, you know a side entrance, don't you?
Yeah, let's see here.
Okay, we might have to reset for that
All
one.
right, that's fine. So what happened is you meant to clip into the ship, and I just
今
teleported
戻されている。
to the other
戻
side.
された
So
今。
that's all right. We'll have to try that again. Not a problem.
That
戻
is
さ
an
れて溺
incredibly
れた。
rare occurrence where the ship can sort of just push you way far out into the ocean and force you to drown, unfortunately. But we can just try yet again. While Saunders is swimming over, can we hear a couple more donations?
You absolutely can, along with a reminder to help us get across the finish line for the Banjo-Kazooie Glitch Exhibition. Less than $900 to go, $19,166 and 96 cents out of 20,000. $50 to Doctors Without Borders from Dana. Okami is my #1 game of all time, and I'm so excited for it to be played at SGDQ. Good luck to the runner. Let's give a big victory howl for all the money we're going to raise for Doctors Without
なん
Borders.
かやってますね。
Woo!
Get in.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So the loading zone is just high enough that we can swim right to it.
乗船し
And
た
now。we're in the sunken ship. It is a haunted dungeon, and that is very scary. Saunders, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm just gonna leave.
Oh.
I'm scared. Bye-bye. So, why did I just enter and leave? Well, the answer is with the sky. So, what typically happens is, in order to advance this story, I need it to be nighttime. And so I have 2 options. Option 1 is I wait 6 minutes for nighttime to show up. Option 2 is get the nighttime brush power to you draw like a crescent and it turns it into night. Or option 3, which is that you're meant to technically enter sunken ship when it's night. And so when you leave, the game developers think if you've entered sunken ship while it's daytime, while it's nighttime, then it will still be nighttime. And so I entered sunken ship and left it just to set that day-night cycle right.
So we have just barely enough time to reach our next objective. We're going to be not taking the normal path across the border to North Ryoshima Coast. That's because we're dogs without borders, maison sans frontières. And that brings us to North Ryoshima Coast. So we have yet another Waka warning. I think this might be the final Waka warning of the run. Here he is. Yeah, and he's gone. So the whole objective here is we need to get to Watcher's Cape before it turns night. Unfortunately, when entering Sunken Ship and leaving, it only gives us barely enough time to reach it. So we are in a race. Here's a very tough enemy. Just single exorcism slip takes him out. You're gonna notice Saunders is barking a lot as we exit each of these fights. That is not just for the fun of it, even though it is very fun and we do it anyway. Also because whenever you're barking at the very end of a fight, it makes the final results screen go away about a second faster. So it's very practical barking. Here we have the Watcher. He wants to see the spiral galaxy. So we're gonna draw a little shooting star for him to make a wish upon.
Yay. And so what that does is after drawing a star, that guy is able to spawn in this galaxy here. And so I'm actually on a very tight time. I didn't tell you this, but when you leave Sunken Ship, it doesn't just set it to nighttime. It gives you like a very short window. So let's see here. Can I actually do this in time? There we go. So I've spun the galaxy. I've done my objectives. That's great.
The meteorologists, they said it was impossible, but we did it. We have spun the spiral galaxy. And the sea is so thrilled to see the spiral galaxy spinning that it has also decided to spin and form a giant whirlpool to the bottom of the ocean.
And just to show you how little time I have left, let's just do a little countdown, see how many seconds are remaining.
5, 4...
There we go. So it's a very tight thing. If I mess it up, I mean, I'll just go back into the Sunken Ship. But without it, like, flung me halfway across the map, I'm very happy I won't be going back there.
So there's an old man there, Urashima. He was getting beat up by some kids, and we saved him. And because of the incredibly inspiring bravery of Amaterasu chasing off those actual school children, this fish here, Orca, is going to be our emissary to the bottom of the ocean. So Orca, very fortunately, is completely immune to the water dragon that you can see in the corner there, who would normally prevent us from reaching the whirlpool, and he's going to take us right into it.
All right, so we're going to be entering the beautiful place. It's called the Dragon Palace. Now, you can actually go into this whirlpool without Orca, so you wouldn't need to do all that stuff. But it turns out the game developers actually thought about that. So you can like Katie glitch all the way to the whirlpool, but then you'll die. So that's why we didn't do that. So inside of the Dragon Palace, there's a problem. There's this dragon that was swimming around. We didn't get to see him, but he is currently possessed by some true foxes, and so we need to help with the curse. So the first thing is you're typically meant to talk to Otohime, which is the dragon's wife. That is just a lot of dialogue. So instead, with the power of the Katie glitch, I can go under right here, and now I can enter the dragon's mouth.
This is a Jabu Jabu style dungeon. We're inside the water dragon. And this dungeon is sort of like a big line. We need to go to the end and then come back. But we're going to skip half of that. Saunders is immediately going to jump, and then KT right before landing. This is going to skip Amaterasu's landing animation, which skips the game setting the flags that tell it to update your respawn coordinates when you're on the ground. Every time Saunders is going to jump and land, we're going to have to reset the sleepwalk. So right here, sleepwalk, yet again. Sleepwalk. So our respawn coordinates are maintained at the very entrance of this dungeon. Normally, in order to beat the dungeon, we'd have to get a key in order to get past a locked door. Then we'd have to release some acid in order to then use that acid to water spout the water orb that gives the dragon its powers, its dragony powers. But the developers in this version did not yet patch out an exploit where we can use regular old water, any water spout will do as it turns out, and release the water orb from behind this locked door.
So now we have the two foxes fight. If you're playing this game casually, this is actually a really tough fight. But really conveniently, the exorcism slips at this part of the game, if you're playing casually, you'd be able to buy exorcism slips. And you're noticing, these guys are dying immediately. And so, with the power of the exorcism slips, but with the power of the exorcism slips, I can just completely destroy this entire boss and turn it from a pretty tough fight into a pretty easy fight. The one thing you won't be able to do in your own playthrough is this. So I'm actually going to do some Katie glitches here. So I'll do one more. And this reveals a hidden lake outside the map. And so this entire time, I never updated my respawn location. And so what I'm doing is, by voiding out in this water area, it should, if I did a good job, it should teleport me straight to the beginning of the map, and that's going to save a lot of time. So let's see, did I pull it off? And I did.
Go.
There we go. There we go. That's really beautiful.
And that's going to completely skip the escape sequence from the water dragon.
時間的にはあと20分ちょいですね。23分くらいじゃないですか。
removing the water orb from the water dragon,
23、4
the
分で
water
終わる
dragon,
はず
he's not feeling so good. He's gonna take a bit of a break. And so we're gonna tell Orihime, the queen of the Dragonians, that her husband is not feeling so hot. And also bring her the water orb, which she asked for some reason, or would have asked for if we talked to her.
All right, so let's check out what's going on here. So I'm going to talk to the dragon's wife, Orihime, and now all of a sudden the music is intense. So something happens, of course. I mean, I skipped the cutscene, but what's happened here is, there's this individual called Rao. We've never seen Rao because we skipped all the parts where Rao occurs. But there's this video, like a real video in ancient Japan. It was playing, and it was showing that this individual called Rao, she's being attacked by a fox who has 9 tails. And so, we just saw Rao earlier. Well, we didn't because we skipped the cutscene. But we saw Rao. We now know she's in distress. And so we need to go all the way there to check her out, see what on earth's going on. But what I want to check out right now is any announcements, AT Tree, any donations, stockpiled ready?
Plenty of both. We are just at 99% on that Banjo-Kazooie glitch exhibition. You could be the one who gets us over. You could use the Twitch extension in your browser if you are watching on a laptop or desktop, or you can go to gdq.gg/donate. We've got $10 from the King's Pride. Look, in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a wolf? No, a dog. Now it's a wolf. Now it's a dog again? Whatever it is, it's flying through the skies of Nippon. So happy to finally see Okami on the big stage again, and so stoked to see my favorite speed community showing off the best of the best. Donation goes to beating the Banjo Glitz exhibition.
More?
Absolutely. We've also got $10 from Empire Ship. I'm beyond excited to finally see Okami HD on the main GDQ stage for the first time since 2017. This game was formative for me as a young artist, and I look forward to hearing more about the development of Okami 2. We have Okami 2 at home, though. It's called Okami Den. Good luck, Saunders, and may the fresh scent of flowers protect you always.
So as we approach Ankoku Temple here, Saunders is going to go around the side. That is specifically just to avoid a few optional cutscenes where we would see Rao's spirit. But we only really need to see this last cutscene here behind the temple. So there she is, there's Rao. She's looking a little pale.
Well, let's check out what on earth's going on. So after doing that cutscene, this hidden well is revealed to me. The entire time you wouldn't be able to see this well. And another glitch cutscene is revealed to me as well. This bridge is meant to be restored and all that. But the secret is Rao has now died. There she is. Well, she's now dead. And so we need to check out what on earth is going on. So there's this hidden well here. Let's have a look where that leads. So we go through here, we go through this area. And so it turns out this hidden well leads me to Queenie Miko Palace. So in the casual game, you're meant to speak to Queenie Miko. She's fortified behind this barrier, and she is the person who can tell us when this island you'll see in a little bit is showing. So she can't die, but her bodyguard is dead. Things aren't looking good, so we're gonna have to check it out.
I'm sure Himiko will be fine. She has gotten the best security in all of ancient Japan. She has decided to fill the entire second floor of her palace with lava. Very impressive security. We never got the secret item that would let us swim through lava, so we're just gonna KT right over it.
落ちたらあかんところを
So you just have to be right next to the
ワンフレーム
So let's try that one
ジャン
again.
プで強引に抜けようとしている。
There we go.
Nice.
And so once we got past, we can now check on Earth what is going on.
You know what else is very impressive? We've raised $20,000 for our Banjo-Kazooie Glitch exhibition. Thank you so much. Keep that energy rolling for the Get the Good ending in Avowed and your choice of console for Banjo-Kazooie coming up in just about 25 minutes.
$65,000 集
So
まってますね。
we saw here, Himiko is taking a nap. She's feeling a little warm because of all the lava, of course. There was also Evil Rao there. Pay no attention to that. We just gave her a little bit of chiropractic. And now we're going to be leaving because, Himiko woke up from her nap for just a bit to tell us, just mention where the location of Oni Island is. But unfortunately, Oni Island is going to be disappearing at sundown, so we have to get there in 5 minutes or less. Saunders, are you ready to rush headfirst into Oni Island?
I'm so ready. This is so crazy. Like, if we don't get to that Oni Island in 5 minutes, and that's the in-game 5 minutes, so it'll be a lot shorter, then that island goes away forever. And it's game over. So here we go. Let's see what on earth am I actually going to do. So first of all, I'll talk to these guards. And so the way I'm going to go is sort of right, but I'm going to go this way.
Well, this is the Emperor's Palace. It's sort of like the gift shop of Seion City, the capital of ancient Japan. You can see there's a big whirlpool of, toxic fumes. All of the people of Seion City are sick. We'll see that later. And the Emperor supposedly is suffering right along with them. But you can see right here, he's fine. He's doing a bit of a hoax. And to buy our silence, he is going to very kindly trade us this item. And the brush gods are so impressed with our lack of integrity that they are going to grant us yet another brush technique. The only optional brush technique we'll be obtaining in the entire run, Mist Warp, a special form of fast travel. And we'll be seeing that just once later on.
Yeah, see that big, whirlpool at the back? That's meant to be where coming from the Emperor's mouth. And that's why there's all this, mist and all this stuff, so everyone's sick, and it's not looking good. But what is looking good is this next skip. So we're meant to go for Rao's house. There's nothing crazy that goes on in the house. It's just slow to do this. So by going underneath the map, let's try that again. So by going underneath the map here, I should be able to skip our house. There we go. One more. There we go. So I just skipped a house. That just saves, a couple of seconds. It's quite convenient. Now let's do a color guessing game. So a color shows up because of a glitch. Think of a color in your brain. What do you think, Alright?
I'm thinking green.
I'm thinking blue. Let's see, what color is it?
So we're going to see a little standee in the center of the screen. It's going to be a random color.
And it's blue.
Yeah, you win, Saunders.
Yay.
I guess I'm going to donate $20 for that.
Yeah, that is the Game Done's quick luck. So you're typically meant to enter Seion from that circle that way, but because I entered Seion from the wrong way, that character just isn't loaded, and that glitch is quite beneficial.
Yeah, so every time you have a character not quite loaded at just the right distance, they'll pop in as a colorful stand-in, and sometimes we like to just guess what color they'll be.
All right, so you can see sunset is here, night's going to show up, and so time is running out. Now the good news is, even if I somehow fail to enter Oni Island in time, the game will just let you try again. So that's not too bad. But you can see the Oni Island has revealed itself to me right here. There we go. It's red and scary. I'm quite scared, but I'll do it anyway. So the first thing is I do need to get onto the Watcher's Cape. Now what's really interesting about this watch view area is in order to get to this part of the map, you need a brush power called Capcool Tower. And do you know what Capcool Tower does? It gives you extra wall jumps. So to the surprise of no one, I skipped that brush power, and that brush power is housed in an area right there, that big tower. You have to do 1,000 jumps or something stupid to get up there. Thankfully, we won't need to do that.
So Orihime, the queen of the Dragonians, has decided to munch on the water orb that we gave her, and that has transformed her into an incredibly powerful bridge that is going to pierce the barrier around Oni Island and allow us to enter. We do have a single chance for a frame-perfect trick, another origin warp, yet again with no Q. Saunders is going to match like his life depends on it to try and show this off for you. Let's see if we can get it.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Okay, that's all right. We have an alternative that just saves a few seconds.
So what that is, that's an origin warp. If you remember in Gale Shrine, I was able to just leave the Gale Shrine area and then just come back in to try again. But in the Oni Island area, leaving and trying again is extremely slow. And this alternate route I'm doing only loses 15 seconds, so overall it's not too crazy. But Ori, would you like to explain, what is this? What am I on right?
So Oni Island is an incredibly large dungeon made up of about 4 different maps. Normally we would have to go in and out in order to get through the whole dungeon. But as it turns out, we're on the exterior map, and there's one other area on the exterior of Oni Island, which is very lucky for us because that area happens to be halfway through the dungeon. It is the source of the one thing we wanted from the entirety of Arc 2, the Thunderstorm brush technique. You can see the Gekigami statue in the back there. We're going to get right up close by jumping around this entirely solid mountain. Ooh, whoops, whoops.
大丈
Just
夫
gonna
か
do a couple KTs to recover our height because the brush
な
recognition
そう
didn't
なと
quite
ころは
recognize
こ
there.
の
Alright, so I'm just going to gain a little bit more height.
ワンフルジャンプで
And there we go. So
届か
that
せに行
trick,
くと
going out of bounds in Oni Island, it saves a good 20-30 minutes. But surprisingly, you don't need to be on the, playing with the KT glitch to do that. You can very easily go out of bounds and skip that entire first half of the dungeon yourself, and you'll be able to complete the second half.
It's a surprisingly easy trick to get out of bounds there. So now that we have Thunderstorm, we can draw electricity
Yeah, it's
from
pretty
any
awesome.
source to any destination.
All right, so now I'm going to leave the Oni Island. So you're meant to do the second half to fight the fox with 9 tails, known as 9 tails. That was the person who killed Rao earlier. But the problem with that is the second half of the dungeon, just like the first half, is extremely long. And so in order for me to leave Oni Island, Isu's going to block me. Isu says, you can't continue. So we're going to have to do a skip in order to get past that. And there's also another problem as well, which is that the area we were in before Oni Island is called Ryoshima Coast. And Ryoshima Coast, the game developers, they locked off all the exits. So let's see how I handle that. First thing is I'm going to stay on this top part of the mountain, because if I'm in the bottom half, I won't be able to go back in bounds too easily. So I'll just do a couple jumps, and there we go. So now I'm back in bounds. And from here, Isu's blocking the exit. So with most things in this speedrun, there's only one way to get past the block, and that is with a KT glitch. So I'm just do 1 KT, 2, and then 1 more, and then I've just got past Isu's block, and I go to this secret exit for Oni Island.
That's going to bring us back to North Ryoshima Coast. We're never supposed to leave Oni Island normally. Thank you. But the loading zone is still there. So at this point, the game is a little bit confused, as they commonly say. It still thinks that we're meant to be chasing our way into Oni Island, and that means Isun, like Saunders said, is going to block our way towards pretty much every exit of the game, or of the map. But there is a single exit, a single place where there is not the right flag set in order to block our way out. And that's a totally understandable difference, because this area is only ever meant to be accessed by fast travel. But as it turns out, it is part of the same map, the North Ryoshima Rocky area up here in the mountains. You can see Saunders is KTing way up high. That's because we can't just KT right up the mountains. Since the mountains are covered with a special type of collision called a jump barrier. If we are vertically above the mountains, we cannot actually jump, so we need just enough height to make our way all the way into the rocky area. And there we go. And this brings us to our one and only use of Mist Warp, the fast travel ability we obtained earlier.
So one benefit of going into the Kamui area earlier is because we entered there before, I can now Mist Warp there anytime. So that saves a really long trek going back into Shinju Field, where we're meant to go, and then you're meant to go into the Thunderdome, all of that stuff. But right now, there is a soft lock coming up. And so I don't really want to say anything, but AT Tree, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to let you know a little fun fact from me. We just passed 800 donations for the event for a total of $65,872, which is just over the maximum for an unsigned 16-bit integer. And I just think that's neat.
That's pretty cool.
I also want to thank Luna Listier for a $100 donation. Many years ago, my friend got me to watch my first GDQ to see a speedrun of Okami. I have been a viewer since. Okami is my favorite game. It has been amazing to see the incredible brush techniques on display. Pet that dog.
Thank you so much. So as we fling our way through Kamui at
上り
Mach
坂だとこのなんか連
speed,
続
that
ジャン
brings
プ
us to the one
移動み
village
たいなの
of
ができるようになるん
Kamui.
ですかね。
This is Webkier. Now
さっきも使ってま
Webkier,
したが。
it's afflicted by a terrible blizzard coming from the mountains up north in Ezo-Fuji. And all the people here are furious about the blizzard. They really need some help. Oki's gone off on his own and is trying to solve the problem, but he's being really evil about it for some reason. So instead of talking to all these people who are, kind of really scary, look how angry that guy is. I don't want to talk to him. Saunders, what about you?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, let's try that again. So what I just need to get past this gate that's shut. And in order to get past this gate, I'm just going to go to the side of the mountain. And so this side of the mountain is actually out of bounds. So by going there, that looks like a small skip because you just go to the left to the right of the gate. But that saves a massive amount of time.
That brings us to Ezo-Fuji, the final major hub area, outdoor area of the game. Normally, in this area, we'd have to go to Waku Shrine to melt this giant frozen lake that would raise this giant boat up into the air. That's our final dungeon, the Arc of Yamato, and a rainbow bridge would appear to take us up into its entrance. But as it turns out, the loading zone is always up there, high up in the air. You can see Saunders here is starting to do some barks. Now, all this time we've been doing regular old KTs where we cancel our KT with a tackle, but you can also cancel it with a bark, and it comes out as a ground bark. And then you can cancel the very last frame of that ground bark with another tackle. So this is a double frame for perfect trick. You might be wondering, what is the benefit if we're doing 2 frame perfect inputs instead of 1 to get up here?
Hey, all right, what's the benefit of doing 2 frame perfect inputs to do this?
Well, there is none. Saunders is just so great, such a master at the KT glitch that he's showing off for all of us at home. So we have 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can get them all chained together. 5. Should be just 1 more. 5. Keep on going, Saunders. You can do it.
ワンフルジャンプちょいちょい
Let's
ここ
get
に
the
来て
crowd in on
ミ
it.
スってきてます。
4, 5.
いけるのか？ミスってる。
4, 5, 6. 1 more. There you go.
だから行ったみたいですね。
Oh my goodness.
As we all know, swag is its own reward. So, amazing job, Saunders.
空を飛ぶ犬
Okay,
で
all
す
right.
ね。
I'm now sweating very hard because of that. But here we go. So I need to go to the shop in order to buy the Tundra beads. So throughout this video, I was talking about New Game Plus. I have all my items, but that's not true. I only have some of my items. The final bead and swords and solar flares, those are locked behind shops. So I did need to buy that. And you will see that against a boss later. And so this entire time, I was distracted about those beautiful BKTs. I'm in the Arc of Yamato, and what you're going to see is a display of bosses that we skipped earlier. So here they all are. First of all, here comes Blight. And so
こうもう
you're
時
gonna
間
get
的
the
にも最後の方なん
Veil
で、
Mist Brush Power in order to kill him. But it turns out the game developers were very
これなん
kind.
ですかね。
If you
ボ
wait
スラッシ
long
ュ的なや
enough,
つですかね。
he reveals his sword, and all we need to do is just hit his sword, and there we go, he dies, and I never needed to use the Veil Mist Brush Power.
Yes, the Arc of Yamato is just a boss rush of 5 of the bosses from the game, all of which we have skipped. The entire speedrun of this up to this point has been a race to get the brush techniques that we need to defeat exactly these bosses.
All right. So now I'm going to trek my way onto the next boss. And so you'll notice here, there's this really long journey between each
ああ、なる
boss.
ほど。ボスラッシュした後ラスボスってこと
When
で
you're
すね。
speedrunning this game, the KT glitch is the hardest trick.
まあ、た
It's
だ
just
ほ
such a
とんどなん
frustrating
か
trick.
ワンフレームジャンプで飛ばしてきているんで、まともに戦ったボスがいるのか？まあ、なんかボス戦っぽいのはありましたけどね。
It turns out you need to do
なんかささっ
KTs
と
to
終わっ
save
てたんで、
time.
あん
So
まり
later
印象に
on
残ってない
in
で
this
すね。
arc, you'll see some KT maneuvers in order to go around nice and quick. But what you'll see right now is the second boss. This is Orochi. And unlike the other bosses, I do actually need to put some skill into defeat this boss.
So immediately upon entering the boss, Saunders is going to run to the left and hit the Earth Head. There are 8 heads to this dragon, each one associated with its own element, and the Earth Head has a special property where if it slams, the
ああ、
game
なる
will
ほど。
allow us
戦
to get
闘がすぐ終わるのは攻撃力10倍である
all
と
at the same time, which is convenient for us.
ああ、その辺がまあニューゲームプラス
We can get them all drunk with the
2%
steel, with the 8 purification
ってとこで
socket
す
in the
ね。
ground here. We just have to repeat that one more time. This does
これは
require
オ
some
ロ
pretty
チですか
precise
ね。
movement to dodge all
こ
of
れ
the
ヤマタのオロ
attacks.
チ。
Yeah, I just want to notify you, alright, sorry. I'm actually unable to hear you because the game audio is quite loud. Would I be able to turn on the game audio, please?
It's incredibly loud. Orochi is roaring so much. And you can see Saunders is now loading up for the second phase. We are pre-prepping because we have a special strategy. Saunders, do you want to tell us about what we're going to see here?
Yeah, blink and you'll miss it. So, you know, if you have never played Okami before, you'll know that Orochi takes 40 minutes to defeat in the second phase. And I just defeated Orochi in 10 seconds. And so, the trick that I used is if you use primary beads and secondary beads, you get unlimited beads. So, I can just spam infinite beads at the Orochi boss, and he gets completely decimated. You're not meant to do that normally. Instead, what you're meant to do is you're meant to make the head drunk, attack it, attack, 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 go, go, go again. You have to do that 8 times, but that's a lot faster. Now let's see if I can do this. So here comes some KT, so I need to get out of bounds. There we go. And so I'm just going to do a couple KTs just to get over to the
ここのボスラッシュのボス戦は一応まともに戦うの
There we go.
か。
And so here is the next boss. This is Spider Queen. Now, Spider Queen, she was in the Suit of Ruins. You know, she was waiting for a very long time. Yeah, so she's transferred herself into the Ark of Yamato.
Very brief arachnophobia warning. We have a giant enemy spider. We are going to use Vine here. We're going to hook onto the hooks on her abdomen. And that is going to allow us to flip her over, exposing her weak point, which we can attack for massive damage. And then we're going to switch back to the glaive because we don't need the beads anymore. Saunders here is going to position Ami right against one of her arms, and that is because the warps at the end of each of these fights always spawn in a static location, and this lets us get right up next to it.
All right, there we go.
So I think now on the way to our next boss, be a good time for some more donations.
Just 1 or 2, please. 1 or 2, please.
Absolutely. We've got $64 from Astro Lemonade donating to our Banjo console choice bid war, which is closing in just a few minutes. $64 for Banjo, even though this goes towards the Xbox version. Thanks, GDQ, for all you do. And we've got $100 from Amalt T with no comment, but thanks so much for your amazing generosity to the Doctors Without Borders.
All right, so here's the next boss. He's called Crimson Helm, and this might be the toughest boss in the game. So let's see.
This is a rough one. We're gonna see a little bit of a preview. We're gonna see a phase 1 and then a phase 2.
All right, let's see.
You got this, Saunders. So there you go. That was very fast. It was just the intro.
Okay.
And
Is it going to begin?
oh, Saunders, where's the boss?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I guess the boss decided to just not show up. And
I guess he didn't make it here in time. It's only been an hour since the start of the run.
I have gone pretty quick, to be fair. And so now I'm going to head to the final boss in the Ark area. And so let's first get out of bounds. This is Ninetales. Now, the good news is, unlike the other bosses, this is actually an interesting fight. So that's going to be quite exciting. So let's talk to Celestial, and I'll leave Ori to explain away.
So Ninetales is a boss with 2 main phases. The first thing you're going to see is there's going to be a big fox in front of us, and it's going to chase up to us. Saunders is going to immediately use a rosary to shoot Ninetales in the face. Ninetales is going to then roar, and that is going to make Ninetales vulnerable to electricity. It's going to split up into 4 spirits, just like Valhalla. And we just have to destroy all those spirits until we can progress to phase 2. So here we see a repetition. Shoot, roar, electricity, spirits.
キュービの尻尾がどんどんもがれていき
And
ま
in
す。
each of these phases, there's just 1 spirit that has a little bit more health, so we need
おっと。大丈夫か。
to hit it and then exorcism slip the rest of them down.
All right. So here's the third final phase. Let's see if I can pull this off. Oh, okay, never mind. So you have 12 beads, precisely, because I didn't do the infinite beads thing with Orochi, so I only have 12 beads, and all 12 have to hit Ninetales for Ninetales to die immediately. Only 11, but that's okay. I can just go in, do the sword, not a problem.
And there you go. That's all the prep we have been doing for the entire run. That is why we needed Thunderstorm. That's why we needed Gale Storm, Water Spout. All of it is for this arc, and that is going to unlock the final boss.
Oh, the final boss. Did you mention what the final boss is?
Well, astute viewers at home and in person may recall a little ball, a little precocious ball way back in Hana Valley. At the time, he was kind of sleepy, easy to push around, but he's back in a big way. You're about to see Yami, the Emperor of Eternal Darkness, our final boss.
real quick, audio tech, please could you turn down the game audio by like a lot, just like lower, lower. So I don't really need any more, thanks.
まもなくラスボス戦
Right,
ら
here is
し
the
い
final
で
boss
すね。
Yami. Now the first two phases are
まあ
kind
予
of
定時
somewhat
間的に
interesting.
もそろそろで
So
す
I
が
need to slap Yami, and the reason why I need to slap Yami is because Yami took away all my brush powers. I have no glaive, I have no beads, so I have to use a slap in order to get my equipment back. And then from here, this is where the disappointing part begins. Because I have the string of beads, which gives me 10 times damage on all my weapons, this turns Yami from a relatively tough fight, if you're playing casually, into what might be an auto-scroller. So how this fight works is you attack Yami, it gives you a brush power. You attack Yami, it gives you a brush power.
ああ、なるほ
And then
ど
do。you know what happens after, alright?
力を奪われてい
Well, we
る。
just get more brush powers. And in fact, we're actually getting every single brush power in the game, aside from the optional
も
ones.
のを
Even
返
the
しても
ones
ら
we
って
skipped
から
earlier.
の
If only we needed them, this would be a very convenient way to get them all. But this is the final boss, so we're already
今
done.
一方的にボコられているように見えますが。
Don't worry, there's next phase coming up.
That's
It's quite a crazy phase. But let's see here. So we get my brush power. Let's see what happens. So I need to hit the beast 3 times, power slash, and continue beating. Now, if you watch it at home, it kind of just looks like trivial. But the first 2 phases, I do have to hit a precise number of bees on each Yami phase. Otherwise, I will lose time. And in a speed run, you don't want to lose time. So here's the first attack of
持っ
Yami.
て
Here
な
we
かったもの
go.
までなぜか返してく
And
れ
now
ると。
Yami's knocked out. So that is the only time I will ever be attacked
ど
by
う
Yami
いう
like,
ことなんだっ
properly.
てばよ。
So that's not too bad. But what's quite scary coming up is the next phase. The next phase is a slot machine. And so I need to hit the jackpot 3 times in order to advance. So let's see if I can do this one.
Just a little dot to end the phase because it was on 0 health. And here's the scary bit. This is the slot machine.
All right, so let's just wait a little bit for the big reveal. I'm curious what's going to happen. Okay, so I need to get the jackpot. Let's see, can I get the jackpot? Here we go. Here we go. Yes! Oh!
Let's go.
Yo, this is crazy.
スロットマシーンだ
So
った
get the
か。
jackpot is just, it's luck. I mean, you can either get it or you can't, but I need to get it 3 times. Let's see, can I get this jackpot 3 times in a row? All right, let's see here. Well, I guess Yami attacks again. The Yami's upset I got the jackpot first try, but can I get the jackpot the second try? Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, this is crazy. Oh my goodness, can you believe this, all right?
I'm without words, other than
さ
the
ああ
words
と
I'm
1
saying right
分
now.
ほどで予定時
Okay.
間ですが、これは若干押すか。
Just have to do this one more time. So let's see, can I get the jackpot? Just gonna open up the slot machine. And here we go! Yes!
That's phase 4.
my goodness.
Phase 3, rather.
This is crazy.
これは通常プレイでも
Now
こう
the
いう感
last
じなん
two
ですかね。
phases are literally just using slips and a sword. So I just wanna
目押ししないとダメですかね。
shout me out. So if you like Okami, if you like the speedrun, then you will love my Twitch page. So I stream Okami speedruns and also Okami challenges. If you want to check me out, I'm at
あんな
on the
毎
web
回毎回
browser,
一発ですると大当たりになるもんなんですか。
/Saunders_Tech, or on the mobile app, just search for Saunders Tech.
ああ、体力減らせばスロットが
If
勝
you
手に
want
する。
to
なるほ
speedrun
ど。
Okami yourself, the community's been drying up. We need that resurrection, right? I'm actually using resurrection beads in some parts of the speedrun. So if you want this resurrection, I want you to head to okamidiscord.com. This will redirect you to the Discord invite link for the Okami
ああ、なるほど
speedrunning。Discord
時間
server.
を遅らせることで揃える。
And you don't need to go in speedrun just to be number 1. You can speedrun,
だ
speed
と
casual. The barrier to entry for
特に
speedrunning
使わずに
Okami is very low. Everyone there is awesome, other than me. And so please do check out
ここまで
Okami
ね、ワンフレ
Discord.com.
技を
And alright, do you have any
連続で成功させてきた奏者には
Saunders, don't
ど
sell
うしようも
yourself
ないこ
short.
とだ
Well,
と。
we have an incredible community in the Okami Discord. We have so many resources. We have an entire Okami speedrunning wiki full of information on every glitch and detail about the game. If you want to join, please join. There's so many helpful people there who will watch your stream and give you guides on how to
I
do
just
the
want to
run.
interject.
Sure, sure.
This sounds like music. It sounds like the game's going to end. It's not going to end. Please don't cut the time.
Okay. One other thing I'd like to shout out, just a little personal advantage. Witherman, Ashley, 93OBTW, and I, 2 runners from the event, and me, are going to be hosting a speedrunning glitch hunting panel on Monday at 8 p.m. if you want to attend, if you're on site, and it'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel later at the end. And that's time.
はい、タイマーストップですね。
There you go.
I
What's
would
our
just like to
game
say
is
one
stop.
thing. Is any of you excited for Okami 2?
1時間
Let's go
11
Untitled
分
Okami
8秒
sequel.
と
I mean Okami 2. You know what I meant.
いうことでね。
Who knows? Hopefully they call it Okami 2, or it will be a Nintendo Wii to Wii U cell figure. But that's alright.
I vote for Okami Mami or
ボ
Okami.
スラッシュあったみたいですけど、なんかもう全部知らないボスで
That's
した。
Okami. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Saunders and Aride, for a fantastic run of Okami. Really wonderful.
いやー、すごかったな。面白かったですね。はい、ここまでの
Or if you're just joining
ゲームは、狼絶景版で
We're so
ご
glad
ざ
to
い
have
まし
you
た。
here with us here and now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more summer games done quick, powered by Twitch. Don't go anywhere.
ニューゲームプラス 2% ってことでね、見応えのある大技が目白押しでしたね。はい。というわけで、次のゲームの準備がございますので、一旦失礼いたします。あ、私もここまで、
Just wanted to thank and shout out to some more of our Okami donors as that run is ending. $25 from Sabertail. Woo! Harlan Sinclair donating $50 to MSF. It's my 10th year watching and donating to GDQ, and I'm happy to be able to donate during my favorite game, Okami. Looking forward to a week of fast games, cool runs, and raising money for MSF. Good luck, runners, and here's to another 10 years. Thank you so much, Harlan, for being a part of all of that. Cameron H. with $25 sent in to Doctors Without Borders. Here's to my 8 years married to the love of my life, Katie Jean, who watches GDQ with me and is the banjo to my kazooie. We are so looking forward to that Banjo-Kazooie run coming up next. Our console is, I believe, chosen, so I just want to remind you that we have the Get the Good ending on Mike Wave's Avowed run. We just passed the 10% marker there, but you have just under 3 hours from the time of hearing my voice saying this to get that met. It does need to be met partway into the run, so gdq.gg/donate or use the Twitch donation extension in the browser if you are on a platform where you can do that, which is a laptop or a desktop computer. You can use the button that would normally say subscribe to make a donation to charity. The subscription option is still there for you if you switch over to the other tab once you click that button, but you can donate, and once you authorize the extension, you can also use those Twitch donations for about 15 minutes after making your donation to attach it to a bid war or incentive. So you can do everything that you'd normally do by going to gdq.gg/donate from the comfort of your browser. I want to remind you that we also have our current block of prizes available until